Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Chubs Gone Wild. Episode 373, recorded on December 14th, 2020. It's only 10 days. 10 days. Well, until Christmas Eve. Or Christmas, depending on what time it is. It's currently 55 degrees and sunny outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios, where it is 7 days until the new solstice, the winter solstice, the best solstice. And it's also 11 days until Christmas, I just said that. Anyway, it's also 12 days till Kwanzaa, 18 until 2021, 321 days till Halloween, and only 38 days, just 38 days until President Biden. This makes me very happy.
Well, I'm watching the Electoral College right now.
And?
Well, it's 202 to 177 because they go by state.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't hit California yet, so we're good so far. And nobody's done one of these things. I want to vote for the other guy. Well, sorry, you can't.
Yeah, well, actually, they can.
Well, they can, but they can also, then the courts can intercept and do all sorts of things.
Well, good, because that's just ridiculous. Oh,
well,
hey, today.
We're doing
go ahead.
Okay.
No, please.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. We're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So, today is Monday, December 14th, as we said, and today we celebrate free shipping. Free shipping? Where the fuck is that?
What are you, an Amazon retailer now?
I guess free shipping, and you still have to pay for that. Anyway, green. It's Green Monday. Green Monday. Also Monkey Day. Don't care for monkeys. National Bouillabaisse Day, and this is the day that we roast chestnuts. I'm sorry. No, thank you. It just doesn't sound appetizing.
It's probably because they're setting them up to cook them next. They cook them now, so they're ready to utilize in food next week.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, chestnuts. Oh, I guess there's chestnut stuffing, isn't there?
Yeah, there's chestnut, lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
I figured there's got to be some kind of chestnut candy. You know, people like them whole and warm.
I guess. I've never found the appeal to chestnuts. That's just me.
Did you ever eat one?
I'm sure I have along the way. Somebody said, hey, it's chestnuts and they're roasting. You want one? I don't know.
I only like it when they pop in the fire.
Ooh, I didn't know they popped in the fire. Oh, wait, I guess I did because that song. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah. Julie Andrews. Anyway, all right. Well, those are pretty awesome things that we celebrate today. However, today's affirmation: I have the power to create all the success and prosperity I desire.
So when are you going to start that?
I have all that I desire.
Oh, good for you.
I have a little bit, too much of some things.
Oh.
Maybe I'll just hand it on down. Anyway, but hey, let's talk real quick about Patreon. Patreon offers folks a chance to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, books, videos, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, the best patrons: Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Star Sage from Univaz, Timothy, Eric, Juan Carlos, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave, and Moose B. Please visit patreon.com/MattBurlingame and become a patron for as little as $1 a day. And if you do so, fairly soon you'll be able to see the first video blogs that I put up of my new video blog called These Friends of Mine, which is an odd title because really it's just me. Whatever.
Oh, you're just copying Ellen. You're terrible.
Copying Ellen.
That was her first show.
That wasn't the first. Okay, so technically that wasn't the first show. That was actually Ellen, but they changed the cast, so they went with a new name. But it
Okay.
was the same damn show in the same damn set in the same damn place with like two people they carried over.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm just saying.
No, you say a lot.
Mm. Well, anyway, let's celebrate some birthdays upcoming. Oh, well, let's say today. First, though, we have that Tracy Turner. It's his birthday. He's 49 years old. Woohoo! He's a youngin'.
So young.
I know. And then we have upcoming birthdays. We have Rod. Oh, that Matthew Crean Higgins. He was popular here. I imagine he's popular everywhere. But we wrote a play about him. Yes, we did.
I did.
Well, I guess I did.
Yeah.
Actually, he wrote the one-man play, and then I turned it into a full, beautiful play. It was wonderful. And then we produced it. Anyway, moving on. Also, Judson, that Christopher, happy birthday. Also, JJ, Matt, Drew O'Brien. Do you know who Drew O'Brien is?
No.
He is an amazing author. He is just, okay, he's Gooch. You know Auntie Vera?
Yeah.
That's Auntie Vera's husband.
No.
Yeah. And he is, wow. Also, Melissa Davis, formerly of Lazy Radio Podcast. We have Ken, that Kenty, formerly of the Flatus Show Podcast. Joe Zubia, the Power Listener. We've got Kira Josh, Tay, Jackie, author Michael Gorman, and that beautiful, amazing, sexy, talented Gary Andrews, formerly of the Cocktails and Cream Puff podcast, and also author and singer of one of my absolute favorite songs of all time. He is 50 years old today. Another 10 years and he'll be dateable. All right. Well, that was fun. Yes? No? Yes? Anything? Chub Hugs? You want to send anything out? Anything going on?
No.
Nothing? Oh.
Nothing.
Well, I want to say, I think we should send out a little bit of love to Moose P, who decided to send us a little bit of a fun package. And you know what's always in Moose's package?
P?
No, nothing? Okay. So, nuts, including, he's from North Carolina. I wanted to make sure I got it right. North Carolina, they're pecans. So several bags of beautiful pecans. That's awesome. Anyway, all right, moving on. So thank you, Mr. Moose. So let's go ahead and get into advice. This comes from Dear Prudy over at slate.com. And she had what the person that wrote her has to say, I am a plus size woman and I am dating a thin woman. She has never criticized my body and often compliments my appearance. Yet she sometimes uses fat hating language to describe herself. I'm generally confident, but it makes me question how she can be attracted to me when she calls herself enormous and disgusting. But I'm larger than she is. Frankly, I've spent most of my life reassuring thin girls that they're thin and pretty, and when they call themselves fat and ugly as if they're synonyms. A recent photo of her wearing a shirt she'd borrowed from me made her complain about how huge she is. I was torn between pointing out that most of her apparent width in the photo was an empty shirt, or that the shirt is my size, so it must be huge too. I know it's not productive to insert myself into someone else's body issues, but this is distressing to me. How can I frame this for myself internally so it doesn't rattle me so much, while also explaining to her that she is objectively not large, but Even if she were, or even if she gains weight in the future, she would still be worthy of love and respect. I don't think she suffers from a diagnosable eating disorder or anything similar.
You didn't unmute yourself after the cough.
Damn it. It's just garden variety diet culture and fishing for comments. Self-loathing backsplash. Anyway, I say slap her repeatedly every time she says something about her being fat, and then possibly dumping her.
Really?
No, but that is fucking irritating. How often have we had to go through our lives with little skinny bitches, and you know some of the people that I'm talking about, or the little muscle studs being like, "Oh my god, look at me! I gained 100 ounce. Oh my god, I'm so fat!" And they're like, ugh, "Really? I could just shake you right now,
Well,
or push you down the stairs like a showgirls moment."
I'm very surprised that you were body shaming people like this. This is just surprising from you.
I don't understand what you're talking about, but okay.
Okay.
But so,
it's an issue. It's something that
oh.
most of the people I know, most chasers I've known, have body issues of their own. They're not body issues of yours. They're body issues of theirs.
Right.
And why can't they have? So it's like, oh yeah, no, I love the way you look, but I don't want to look that way. I want to look this way, which is kind of a back slap, but still. It's their problem. It's not yours.
Right.
I've dealt with it forever.
Well, and just because somebody may be attracted to, a great big large chub, beautiful like us, doesn't mean that they don't have their own body dysmorphia issues or their own internal body issues, like you said. But they fall prey to every single bit of the culture that's out there as well.
Right.
The thin culture and the diet culture and the be in shape culture. And there's the thing too that some of them, some chasers like to just let themselves go because they want to look like they think,
Once again, it's
that they like.
Right. It's their body issue.
Right.
I mean,
But
yeah,
then,
most chasers, it's kind of like they are the once I get married, I can let myself go type thing.
yeah, I can have some chub on chub action myself.
Yeah. And then unfortunately we're sitting there going, I'm not into chubs, thanks.
Yeah, and that is kind of odd when you're a chub who's not necessarily into chubs. Luckily for me, I'm just into whoever I find attractive. And
I thought it was just whoever would actually talk to you at the bar.
if you don't stop being mean and truthful, I'm just gonna cut you off. All right. Well, let's see what Dear Prudy has to say. Let's see. For what it's worth, garden variety diet culture can rise to the level of completely disordered thinking about body size and value. I also believe there's room to say the way you talk about your body and fatness hurts me as a fat person, without also saying, therefore, you have to feel perfect about your body for the next 5 minutes. She's entitled to have complicated and sometimes negative feelings about how she looks, but she should also be mindful of the language she uses. I'm sure you're already familiar with the common response to such a dynamic, which usually goes something like this. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean anything about you by it. You look great. I just feel huge, which is a terrible and unacceptable thing to be for me. Oh, girl, if I heard this shit. But it doesn't have anything to do with you. In my case, it's usually followed. But when I eat a Tic Tac, I feel like I'm so full. Anyway, she goes on to say, but it does. mean something to do, have something to do with you, of course, have something to do with you when she throws out the word huge bitterly against herself. And while you may not be the primary victim of her bouts of self-loathing, you're still affected by the way she expresses it. You should also tell her that you don't want to keep dealing with these episodes by reassuring her that she's thin, partially because it reinforces the line that thin is good and fat is bad, and also because you would still find her attractive and desirable even if she stopped being thin. You're not asking for the moon here, or for instantaneous liberation from diet culture. She can still feel bad about herself and discuss that sometimes with you. Although I hope she takes this moment as inspiration to seek other ways to think about and describe her body. You just want her to stop using fat-hating language for fairly obvious and straightforward reasons that she should stop. And she can, so go ahead and ask her to. Wow.
I think that that's totally wrong.
Okay.
I mean, there's some things in there that are obvious, but I mean, it's I don't know. It's still, people have issues, and it's, if it's not, and we can't throw ourselves into their issue. It's their issue.
Right.
And I mean, I
Okay.
get that. I hate nothing. I hate more than when, somebody's going, "Oh, fat boy," and that irritates me.
Uh-huh.
I hate when people talk that way to me. But other people love that. It's I don't know. It's there's everybody's got their issues. That's all I'm
Everybody's
saying.
got their kinks too. Um, it was just funny when you said, "Hey, fat boy," because I had one guy who that was one of his turn-ons was to call me fat boy, and it actually annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah, me too.
And
I
if for no other reason than just that's a dumb thing to say.
yeah, I had them say that it was, let's say, at a place where sometimes you walk around in a towel, and
Oh.
and it's like, oh yeah, and then going on with the language, and you want this bad, and I'm going, actually I don't anymore. You need to go away.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. I I I don't want to be your overall fantasy either. I have my problems, and you're just flaming them right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that.
If you
Uh,
want to get somebody in bed, you may not want to turn them off by saying
exactly.
things that they think are derogatory.
Right, and then I would say that there's nothing wrong with talking to your girlfriend about the way she talks, and just say, it's hard for me to accept that you think I'm attractive when you find yourself attractive and you're half my body weight.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to write somebody and ask for advice about it.
Wow.
But if she didn't, we wouldn't have a show. So there you go. Thank you. Thanks
Yes.
for calling.
And definitely like Miss Manners actually had some interesting columns lately, but I think she, which is actually her kids now, have been putting their own winky winky twists on what's being what I think they're writing the letters themselves. Okay, there I said it.
Oh,
Oh, anyway, that is from Dear Prudence over at slate.com. Please go check them out, support them, all that good stuff. And hey, currently LGBTQ people of color in America have a disproportionately high rate of new HIV infections. Golden Rule Services of Sacramento, along with the HIV Planning Council, want you to know about an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, is a medication that is proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. If you think PrEP may be right for you, visit your local sexual health clinic. If you reside in Sacramento County, California, contact Golden Rule Services at sacgrs.org or to org to get started on protecting your sexual health. Did you know that there is a proposed experimental 3-day prep where you take, if you know that you're going to hook up and go balls to the wall, that if you take the prep the day before, the day of, and the day after the event, that it may be as effective as being on prep full time.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's still kind of, I mean, it's been out there for a little bit, but it's still kind of one of those, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, they're not pushing it. They want you to be on prep full time, but that is an option that is out there. So anyway, thank you for being an awesome sponsor. That's Golden Rule Services. All right. Current topics. Hey, guess what?
What?
Joe Biden makes a pledge to lead the most pro-equality administration in America.
In history.
In the history of America. That's pretty damn cool. I like that.
Well, and if you watched who he's been hiring, it's certainly true so far.
That's very true. Yeah, it's very true.
And scientific, people with, well, they're either scientifically, they have the science behind them, or they have the experience behind them. It's amazing what you can do when you hire a person that actually knows the job and isn't a brain surgeon. Oh, hey, we need you to help build housing for people who don't have housing. Oh, good, because I'm done being a brain surgeon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that
not only that, but an anti-science brain surgeon. How can you be that?
Well, the whole thing is ridiculous. I mean, most of the Trump appointees had no experience in what they were doing. I mean, the guy that ran the post office, they brought in for the post office, never worked for the post office. He didn't even have a UPS background, nothing. I mean, right. he's gotten stuff delivered to the house. Yeah. I guess that would be experience, because he was made the fully in charge of the postal service.
And
this is the kind of idiot,
and it didn't work.
Well, no, that when you go to what further he was there for, yeah. But the fact is that he's done this over and over again with so many of his appointees. So actually having somebody who's not just following the word that he says he's going to hire, a nice arrangement of people that look like America, but he's also hiring people who look like America, who have the experience to fill those fucking jobs.
Right. Like, I think that you were just talking about the person that he put in charge of HUD or urban housing development. Perfect person. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I think she's going to do an amazing job.
Well, so many of the people, because I love how he's been introducing them on TV, or on, introducing them live to America. And first of all, he tells you why they got the job. And then they tell you more about themselves, and you find out they even, like the woman who's, can't remember what job she's doing, but she's been working with HIV/AIDS since the 80s, along with Fauci. And she actually said her goal has always been to find a way of curing AIDS. So it's nice to have somebody working in the government in a scientific position that may help us, knock AIDS out forever.
Right. That would be awesome. And there is a lot of initiatives out there right now that are looking to stop the spread of HIV by 2030.
Yeah.
Completely. Stop.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome.
I know.
Let's see. Michigan court rules that businesses can refuse gay and bisexual people, but not trans people.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, in our current topics, did you hear about Pornhub?
I never hear about Pornhub.
Okay, well, anyway, so Pornhub, which hosts almost 14 million videos of various types, uh, actually had to take all the unverified accounts out. So now there's about 4 million videos that are left. And yeah, and all this comes after a newspaper article in one of the papes last week that found that tracked several people that had been like abused children whose videos had been like put up or something like that. So I didn't read the article, so I don't want to comment too much on that part of it. But because of that investigation, Visa and MasterCard have completely pulled. They won't process anything through Pornhub or any of its affiliates anymore either. So, and it's not Pornhub, well, Pornhub's fault. The only thing that's really Pornhub's fault is not getting those accounts verified. But anyway, so Pornhub could be without Visa and MasterCard processing and without, over about 10 million videos, they could be boom. The real bad thing from this, because obviously the good thing is, if there are videos out there that do have underage performers, you don't want those up there. The bad part of it is that the company, the organizations that started this are the ones who are anti-porn, like in America, like not 10,000 Mothers, but those type of organizations, or 1 Million Moms, or whatever the fuck they are. So those type of organizations that have been trying to get rid of all pornography in America anyway are the ones that got this through. So yeah, so don't get rid of your DVD porn, folks.
Well, last night on Family Guy, they were talking about Christmas and how they it was Peter and his son both go, well, we don't know it's Christmas time until they put the wreath and the O on Pornhub.
Ha! Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, and I just wanted to tell you, we've just got over 300,000 people dead of coronavirus in this country.
Well, I guess that's a Merry Christmas, isn't it? And our local, what do you call them, intensive care units are all full.
Yes, they are.
In fact, we have an arena here that is now becoming our an overflow for non. I just said it. What is it? ICU cases. Non-ICU cases are going to an overflow in the arena here.
Yeah, and the vaccine should be coming in this week.
Yep.
And health workers, especially those who deal directly with COVID patients, will be getting it first.
Good. I don't know anybody who will be getting it in the first round, do I?
Really? Oh, are you teasing me?
A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Something, yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure you were going there. I thought, oh my God, he's like stroked out on me.
Oh.
No, it's Sean will be getting it this week.
Wow, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
And he won't let me
protected.
And keeps me pretty much naked all the time. So I feel like a sex slave here for him. But he does all the shopping, and once he gets the vaccine, he won't be bringing anything home, if you know what I mean.
Yes, that'll be good.
I know.
The only thing he needs to bring home that he hasn't brought home for you, I need some Viagra for my hat, is some damn candy.
Oh, I like candy, but we don't eat a lot of candy here, girl.
Yes, but he shouldn't shame you when you do have some candy.
Oh, no, he shames me because he eats it.
Well, that's true.
Let's go back to that advice column. I'll tell you what, seriously, like for instance, he goes, oh, look, I got you some of that chocolate covered popcorn with the stuff I got you last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So he gets it, and I'm like, I mean, it was so good. I'm eating it.
Mm.
And then one night he was holding it like a child and out of the bag, eating
Yeah.
it, eating it. And then he's like, he's slow. I didn't say anything, but he wants to slow himself down. So he takes two handfuls out,
Mm.
puts it on the table in front of him because he's going to put it away, right? No,
Right.
no, he continues to eat it out of the bag. And I'm like, you already put two handfuls on the table. Put that down. Give me that thing. I mean, this was supposed to be mine.
Aw.
Because he goes, I know how much you love this.
Oh, that was sweet of him to get that for himself.
Until he strapped it on himself.
Well, apparently I have something fun that you sent me under the tree, and every day I'm like, oh no, I must resist temptation. But
Well,
I'll tell you, it's the 14th, and there's 10 days to go, girl. I don't know.
well, the thing is that it's one of those gifts that keeps on giving.
Oh,
So don't feel bad about opening it early if you need to.
okay. Well, that sounds good. Ooh. All right, let's see here what we got coming up next. Hey, Chubs,
Yeah.
did you have any 70s cop shows that you enjoyed watching? And this comes from Scotty Math.
70s cop shows.
Oh,
I have to think back to the 70s.
I know.
Well, actually, if I remember right, I liked a lot of them. Mannix, remember Mannix with, because I don't remember the guy's name, but uh, Peggy Fisher, the woman who played his secretary.
I have no idea.
Well, it was a black actress who played his secretary. She was great. She
Yeah.
was one of my favorites, and we shared a birthday. And then I really enjoyed. I don't know, was Starsky and Hutch during the 70s?
Yes, yeah. In fact, that's the one I was probably gonna say.
And that's just because they were so handsome,
Yes.
both of them. It was like it was hard to pick one, when you had because well, it was strange, but I always like to pick boyfriends on shows like Survivor. I had a friend and we would always pick our boyfriends from each season of Survivor. At the beginning, it'd be like, okay, I'm taking so and so. Oh, that's good because I'm taking so and so. Okay, there's our boyfriends, and that's all we talk about. I mean, that would be it. We wouldn't have a lot to say otherwise, but we always made a point of choosing boyfriends for Survivor, and I've been doing this for years. So it was with Starsky and Hutch because I probably thought Starsky was cuter, but David Soul did sing "Don't Give Up on Us, Baby," and he was also in "Here Comes the Bride." So it goes back and forth there. And I wasn't. Wait, was Dukes of Hazzard? Were they detectives?
No, they're just good old boy cousins who kept getting into trouble.
And why were they always like without clothes?
Because they were fucking hot. And back then, they knew that a shirtless guy would get people to watch the shows. Well, they also knew that more women watched TV back then.
Was Magnum PI? Was that 70s?
No.
Okay. Because I didn't watch it, but I sure did like the previews.
Oh, yes. Yeah. He was a beautiful, beautiful man.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. But otherwise, I was mostly comedies.
Oh, well, wait. Was Columbo? He wasn't just a detective. He was a police detective, right?
He was a detective. Police, I'm pretty sure he was, yeah.
Okay, so probably Columbo then would have been my favorite.
Oh, now that you said that.
And I guess that's not really a cop show, is it?
Well, it depends. It was a McMillan wife?
I thought they were just rich people that.
No. He was like in the police department.
Oh, was he?
Sure. Yeah, and she was always, Lucy along,
Yeah.
Oh, I got in trouble, Ricky, but that was one of my favorites too because I love Susan St. James.
Yeah.
I have a real problem with loving strong women characters.
Yes, me
Gail
too.
Fisher, that was her name, not Peggy Fisher. Gail Fisher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
fine,
kind of
fine Emmy award-winning actress.
nice. But other than that, no, I don't think. I mean, Barney Miller, was he 70s? Was that 70s?
That was 70s, but I guess it's a comedy. But yeah, that would have
Yeah,
been.
that was a cop show. That I mean, I watched that in reruns over and over and over when was on. It was a
And,
great
and
show.
when we got into the 80s, I watched more dramas because I was
Yeah.
older, like Hill Street Blues and those kind of LA Law, those kind of things.
Well, that's one of the things I always thought. Speaking of cops leading to detectives versus detectives, that I always thought for Charmed, because you know how the whole thing with Charmed is like, why are you showing up at all these crime scenes and oh, you're making us so suspicious. And I always thought, why the hell didn't they just open a detective agency? If for nothing else, cover this is why we're here. We're investigating a detective case rather than, well, we're just
Charmed,
killing demons.
Charmed looked for they went and did crime solving.
Well, no, well, they got led to like, demons being slayed or something, but it always came out into the real world where the police always ended up.
Okay, I guess I didn't kind of connect that as a crime drama, but all right, sure, that's
Yeah.
true. Well, I don't know how they explain. We're watching Titans right now on HBO Max. Well, he wants to watch it. It's kind of dumb, but there's all these dead bodies everywhere, and it seems like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
There was Robin kills 35 guys, and there's no news about this.
Right. Well, that's what always gets me about Doctor Who is that like every little bit, like they just kill off like half of or like a quarter of the population. And it's all like nobody and they all just like go back to their business. No big deal.
Yeah.
You know. Ugh, anyway.
Well, it's the joy of episodic television.
Right.
See,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey Chubs, in competition shows, do you hope the gay one wins? It says one, not gay guy. The gay one wins because they are gay.
A lot of times, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I noticed that people tend to do that no matter what. You always want somebody that is more like you to win.
Right.
It's always nice to feel like, oh my God, on Amazing Race when the gay couple won. That was so cool because they were the gay couple.
Right.
When Richard won on the first episode of Survivor, he's a gay guy. Oh my God.
He's being called, a queer and a fag and all this other stuff.
Sure.
He wins, so that made it even better.
Right. And so yeah, I mean I can see that. I know that there's certain judges on shows that I watch that are African American who you can tell they're really excited when the African American contestant wins. And I think that's fine. Because let's face it, we're all tired of watching the straight white people win everything.
Yep, which is kind of early Survivor, except for the first one.
Right.
It is just like one straight straight white person after another, and they get rid because. Well, I'll talk about that more in my week, but watching Survivor, the early seasons, it really is just like, oh, you're a little bit different. We're getting rid of you. Yeah.
Well, watch Big Brother.
Oh yeah, I know. I won't watch it anymore. It's just too crazy, especially after the stuff that you and Ufi have said about it.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of one of those things where I'm going to keep watching it because I want to see it change. I like the source material. I just want to see it get better.
Yeah.
And I want to see changes made. I don't want to see, oh my God, the ones that were really terrible were those, what was it? The MTV, when they had all the young people and they were,
Bulls.
Yeah, those things. Yeah. Oh my God. It was always the white guys always won. So you were always rooting at least to have a white girl win, if not a black girl win.
Yeah.
But somebody win that isn't the same 2 or 3 white guys.
Right. In fact, in the Survivor that I watched last night, which was 7, I think, there was this one white jock dude that thought that he could rule the roost by dominating and just like jocking up and bullying everybody. And well, he got told, but it was just driving me crazy. I was so glad when he went. But yeah, I will do the same thing. And the only time is you just hate it when the gay, you're right rooting for the gay guy, and then he turns out to be such an asshole that you're just like, okay, I don't care now. Just
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and that's true, and that's a good thing.
Hmm.
Even though we may want the gay guy to win, if they're an asshole or they're just awful,
Hmm.
then it's not like, well, I'll keep going. It's not like a Trumpism where, well, even though they're an asshole, I'll still do what they, I'll still root for them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And boy, I hope that changes because it's happening way too much where people are just blindly following whoever because they either have your interest,
Hmm.
even if it just and I'm not making the comparison. Well, I kind of am. It's like with the Nazis, the people, they always go, well, they only, they were guard, they really can't be held responsible. Well, after a while, you got to be held a little bit responsible, even
Hmm.
though you were just there because you were getting paid. The fact is, sooner or later, you have to, pay for getting paid for doing awful, awful things.
Right. In fact, that's something that kind of reminds me of one of the survivors. I think it was 3 or no, it was like 4 or 5. Doesn't matter. They were in the Amazon, and the first and there was an Asian guy on there, and Jeff is asking him, do you feel kind of singled out, or and he's like, yeah, I feel really different. I'm the only person here who's like not white in the group of guys, and he's like, and I do feel that. I feel like it puts I'm not part of the good boys and old boys network. They don't talk to me. Um, and everybody was just like, oh no, that's not true. Oh, you're just one of the guys, or we're not racist. There's nothing going on like that. And yet earlier, the same group of guys, especially the older ones, were talking about, oh, I wanted to give him a kung fu chop and like making little racist. I was just like,
Oh no, it's yeah,
so
it's
it's I understand.
it's really hard because you watch something like Survivor,
Mhm.
and if there's 6, let's say an average year season, there's 16 people, and
Mhm.
out of those 16 people, there's going to be 8 guys and 8 girls.
Mhm.
It's usually pretty even there, and then what happens is it's all white people, or there's a couple, like there's a black guy and a black woman,
Uh-huh.
or there, and sometimes there's like an Asian girl and a
Mhm.
gay guy,
Uh-huh.
and it's like this isn't the way you cast these shows.
Right.
And now, according to what I was reading, that 50% of Survivor for now on will be, if they have 8 white people, they're going to have 8 people who are not white.
Good.
I,
Good.
I personally think it should be even less white people on the show because,
Yeah.
or at least follow. If you want to, if you really want to represent the nation,
Mhm.
what's the percentage of white people in America, black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, and make that your, the way you build the show.
Yeah. I think yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, something that more is representative of, because God, okay, what was I watching? I was watching Mr. Iglesias on,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
okay, so the main character is Hispanic,
Mhm.
and there's 2 other Hispanic characters on there. Now, they're teachers in Long Beach, but then there's 2 white people, the coach and one of the other teachers. There's a black principal and a black um, teacher, another teacher, and then those are pretty much the main adult characters, and then the younger characters, the students, are very diverse. They even have a redheaded guy. He's like, actually, he's the redheaded kid, and then they've got a blonde girl who is the only girl who's got money, and all the other students are something else.
Yeah.
And it's so pleasant. I mean, sometimes it seems obvious, but then after a while, it just seems normal.
Right.
And that's the thing. I mean, you watch what's the show with the Goldbergs? But it was the one where they had the school after, they.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember.
Okay, she came back and she was one of the teachers.
Mhm.
All the teachers were white, weren't they? No, actually, I think there was a black teacher and a black principal. But it's just like, come on, nobody is going to call you if you throw in some people who aren't just white people in shows.
Yeah, that's a Marvel Avenger. No, what is it? The Marvel? It's the TV show.
Oh, okay.
You know,
which one?
I'm trying. It's the one that was like on CBS for a while. Marvel, Agents of Shield.
Oh, okay.
They were very diverse. I was all like, wow, a show with 2 strong black male characters on it, and a very diverse cast, and it was like, it was great to see represented, because you're watching TV, you're seeing a bunch of white people and a couple, minorities or gay people or whatever on it. You go to the grocery store up here that we go to, you walk in and you see everybody very well represented. I mean, we have a very racially and everything else mix in where I live. So you're always seeing everybody, and then you go to TV and it's just a bunch of white people and maybe one black character who can make a joke about how stupid white people are, which is kind of true.
Right. Well, and I think people like Ryan Murphy have a tendency to really try to break it up, because even though when you look at something like Glee, it wasn't that there was a lot of diversity in race, because they were in Indiana.
Yeah.
So,
or Ohio, I think.
Ohio, okay. But what they did have was a diversity in the people that were there.
Right.
There was a Jewish girl. There was gay kids. There's a guy in a wheelchair. And as they brought in secondary characters, they would bring in people of color and mix in like that. And at least it's a start.
Yeah.
And he's always been leading that edge, pushing that envelope just a little bit further each time. So and also the thing that Ryan Murphy does that I love is that he's thrown ageism out the window. He'll develop entire seasons of the American Horror Story based around people over the age of 50, actresses, because once you hit 40 and you're an actress, you're either somebody's mother or you're not working.
Right. Or you're the has-been.
Mostly not working. And so, and he's done, he said, why does that have to be? Why can't there be, I mean, considering that the people who are actually watching TV, network television, are all older. They're not young people. That's what I always love when they go, oh, no, you have to, your commercials have to, speak to young people. And I'm like, well, that's great. Then put those commercials on YouTube, because they're not watching network television. And why is it that when you hit, well, oh my God, that's right. You have now become the worthless information person because you're over the age of 50, you're 50 or over.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, television goes, 18 to 35 and 35 to 49, and then we don't care what you say.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And so that's always bothered me, especially as I got older and older, when nothing feels so good as when you click, you have to check the box 50 to infinity.
Yeah, that's what I.
So you really don't care what I say. And I actually took it, because Sean and I share a email address, home email address. And
30.
what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
And so every once in a while, I'll get something that he's applied for, and it'll go, here, take this survey. And I'm like, okay. And the first thing it says is, which age group are you in? And I'll go, 50 to, plus, plus, plus.
Yeah.
And it goes, okay, thank you for doing our.
I was just going to say that.
It's like
it used to be like, okay, we have this survey is going to take you 10 minutes. And now it's like you click your age and they're like, oh, thank you for for being a patron.
Oh, wait, what's that over there? Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Well.
It's terrible. But it's, but it needs to stop, because if you're advertising on network television and you're trying to advertise to people who are going to buy your goods, then I would suggest you figure out who your fucking audience is.
Right. Yeah. Okie dokie. Well, let's see what's going on in the lunchbox. We got one submission this time, and this is from our Scott.
Oh.
And Scott says, hey Chubs, Scott M here. Here's a flashback from the end of February. We were on vacation in Las Vegas, the good old days, when we could all go on road trips. Whenever we go on vacation, I always look for English restaurants because I was born there and grew up eating that kind of food. We found a place called the Cornish Pastry Company. It was like an English pub. The Cornish Pastry Company is delish. It's had a golden flaky pastry, lamb potatoes, rutabaga with bistro. I don't think I've heard of that. It was almost as good as one that my mom used to make. They were so good. They have 7 different locations in Arizona, and they deliver. We ordered a whole case to last us through the pandemic. They only lasted a few weeks. Thanks, Chubs. Scott MC. P.S. I love all the photos Moose sends in. He sure eats well. Yes, he does.
Well, and when people are clicking on it, if you go, there's 2 pictures, and the picture shows the whole pocket meal, what it looked like.
Yeah.
Because there's a close-up of the inside, and then there's one that shows that it was a sizable hot pocket.
It does. That looks so good. Yeah, I really need to make a point of trying that.
Well, pub food is it's gotten so much better because pub food quite literally was, cafeteria food for Brits for a long time, and now the food's gotten so much better and so much more creative. I would order this thing in a second.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, so good.
We used to have a pub here, a British. Was it British or Irish?
It was British, and
okay. Yeah, it wasn't. I ate there once, and I wasn't totally thrilled. And it was the pub. It wasn't anything else. But I mean, how can you fuck up bangers and mash? Come on.
But the food seemed very Americanized.
Yeah,
and I've eaten a lot of British food, and it was like, okay, they're appealing to an American audience here, which I mean, have to do, but. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for sending that in. We really appreciate it. And you can find photos of that over at the facebook.com/ChubsGoneWild Facebook group. We want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who've been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. Chubs listeners, you can do that. By using the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com.
And you better do it now.
Yes, seriously, it is the 14th. Get your orders in. Um, and don't forget to go over and check out their YouTube channel. It is fun. All right, well, now it's time to jump into Tom's week.
What? Oh, okay. Well, my week. Let me get my accessories here. Um, first of all, Big Mouth is season 4 is in, and so I've really been enjoying it. But we're almost at the end of that because there's only 10 episodes in the season, so it sucks. I long for the days of the 22 episodes. I really do. On favorite shows, how that works, it's
Yeah.
like, and I know that technically, because I think they have 41 episodes for 4 seasons, so it's where 44 episodes would just been season 2, 1 and 2. So it's just in the old days. So it's weird. We're just finishing Mr. Iglesias. They just brought out 5 new episodes because what happened was they were probably filming during the early part of this year and then got locked out, and then were able to get back and do the end of their season because they did 6 in released 6 in like March or April, and then they released 5 this week. But we're almost done, and it's actually getting quite good. And like I said, a lot of it has to do with the fact that the diversity in the show really opens it up to storylines that are new and fresh. Oh my God, your hat just disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see. Mandalorian is still good, consistently good. 1 episode left there. It's getting really sad that all my shows that I'm like, oh, I'm so glad they're back, they're already over, type thing. Okay, so the movies I watched this week on Netflix were The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is Aaron Sorkin's look back at the trial that happened after the riots of '68 at the Democratic Convention. Really good cast. It's an excellent show, really fun. And I mean, it's funny as well as interesting. A lot of really good characters based on true. Then we also watched Prom, which is the new Ryan Murphy movie based on the Broadway musical that came out last year on Broadway. And somehow he got it all filmed before the pandemic.
Wow.
And it's fun. And, it's the basic storyline is 4 has-beens, Broadway actors are trying to fix their bad PR by taking on an issue, which is a lesbian girl in Indiana, who they're going to shut down the entire prom because they don't want her showing up with a girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
But it's a musical, and it's super funny.
Good.
So that's also on Netflix. Also, another on Netflix is called Mank, and it's about, I believe it's Henry Mankiewicz, who was the man who wrote Citizen Kane, and it's about him writing Citizen Kane and who he knew, but the movie itself is kind of based on Citizen Kane. It looks a lot like Citizen Kane was filmed. The opening credits are like Citizen Kane. The music sounds like Citizen Kane. So they're really mirroring the man's life and Citizen Kane together. For those who are movie buffs, they're going to really appreciate it. And it looks great. A little long, and I had a problem with the fact that the actors, I didn't know a lot of the actors. So they're playing characters that I've heard of because it's based on a true story. So, a lot of these people who ran studios and who were important at that time period. But from, 3 scenes later, here comes this guy, and I can't remember who he was and what he did. And so I was losing track of the politics that were going on in that time period. Then I also saw Ava, which is a new one on Netflix. And what's her name? She's the redhead. I'll think of it later. But she plays an assassin who basically is, she's kind of starting to fuck up, and now the people who hired her are looking to get rid of her. So there's a lot of a lot of action, a lot of fight scenes, but it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. And on NBC, did you see the Grinch musical yet?
No.
The one with Matthew Morrison from Glee, the teacher from Glee. He plays the Grinch.
No, where's
And
this?
that's on NBC, so you can probably see it on Hulu.
Okay. I'll
And
check it out. No.
it was really, really terrible. Well,
Oh.
no, I mean terrible in the sense that, first of all, okay, we understand that the Grinch doesn't like the children, the children and the Who's, right?
Uh-huh.
But do they have to make us hate the Who's as well? Because I
Hmm.
mean, the Who's are so irritating that I don't know how the Grinch put up with it all these years.
Is this the one where Cindy Lou's like 16 or
No,
something?
no, no. This is a musical version, staged version.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So kind of like when they were doing, Rent a couple years ago and
Yeah.
Peter Pan. This is I guess this is a musical that has run during the holidays, and they decided to put it on TV. So I couldn't get through it personally. Every song was oh, this is why the Grinch hates these people, because all the kids are opening presents and screeching.
Well, actually, that would bother me. But
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you're going to be going, okay, I'm gonna find a Who and I'm gonna strangle them.
well, that's my mom came in yesterday, and sometimes she and I will just sit and watch funny videos on YouTube. So I put on one that was a holiday one, and it was so many of kids opening presents, freaking and screaming and crying and like practically throwing themselves through windows and just. And I looked at her and I said, "Did I ever behave like that?" And she said, "Oh God, no." So anyway, that it just I don't get it. But go ahead. Sorry.
And then this week, I saw Elf, and then I saw The Family Stone, which has always been one of my favorites, with Diane Keaton and Craig T. Nelson,
Hmm.
uh, Sarah Jessica Parker, about a family, coming together at Christmas, and just it's very heartwarming. Brian hates it because they all pick on Sarah Jessica Parker because um, she just doesn't know when to stop talking. Is her biggest problem in the show. But she makes comments about gay people. One of the kids in the family is gay, and it's just there's some irritating moments that she throws out there, so you kind of hate her. But then there's other characters who are equally as bad in the show, are bad in the sense that they're mean or awful people. So yeah,
What?
nothing. Okay. But otherwise, the girls are fine, and that's it for me.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me that I need to watch Elf. I actually bought it last year, I think. All right. Well, let's see. So for me this week, the car did not get done last Friday. They apparently sent the wrong part. So the car will apparently be done this week, which I certainly hope so, because there's things that need to be done. Um, you know, how it is, especially during the holidays. Let me ask you, do you tip your mail person?
No,
Okay.
because
Huh.
we don't have the same one. I mean,
I have heard that from others as well.
I
Like,
mean, there's one white guy, there's an Asian guy, and there's an Hispanic guy, and there's no rhyme or reason. I don't know who's our regular guy and who's not.
well, whoever that you choose and around it would be, I'm sure, thankful. Anyway, so we do have, for the most part, we have like a couple that alternates, but we have one guy for the most part who's been really good and steady for years. And so we actually do. We get him usually a box of candy or a gift card. So for those of you who are like, I never even knew that you should tip your post person. Yes, you should, if especially if they're your regular one. Um, And you can do that. They cannot accept gifts. They can't accept cash, and anything you give them has to be $20 or under. So just throwing it out there. We usually give a box of chocolates and maybe a Starbucks gift card or something like that. So just an idea. And yeah, there's all sorts. I found out looking up the rules again, just to remind myself, there's all sorts of people that you're supposed to tip. I could not afford to tip all these damn people, like UPS drivers and everything else. I cannot do it.
Yeah, somebody mows your lawn, cleans your
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah, and there's specific things like if somebody mows your lawn, you're supposed to pay them uh, as a Christmas bonus. You're supposed to give them the same amount that you would pay them in like a week, and then half on top of that, like half a week on top of that.
Yeah, well, you're going to lose a lot of people that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's nice if you've got the money.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of those things. If you're kind of affluent or whatever, and you have a lot of people doing stuff, then you should fucking tip them because they're doing, important work for you. But if you're somebody like me, I'm sorry, but the FedEx person and the UPS person and this person and that person, three people, and you've already like there's beyond my budget there. So anyway, it's just interesting, and you can go to CNN.com, and they actually have a list of how you're supposed to do it if you choose to do it. All right, Survivor. I have gone through since the last time we recorded 5, 6, and 7 seasons. And the only comment that I have that we haven't already kind of talked about was Burton. Do you remember Burton?
No.
Okay, Burton was in season 7. He was just absolutely beautiful furry chest. Geez, his eyes that just make you melt and get hard at the same time. It's just,
Well, it's good he had eyes.
he was beautiful. Oh my God, he was so beautiful. And I didn't think he was as bad as they kept making out. But anyway, Clint and I actually met him and have pictures with him from a few years ago. So it was kind of interesting to actually see the show again.
So who's Clint?
Who the hell are you talking about? He's one of our patrons.
Oh, him. Okay.
Yeah, our little Clinty. Anyway, all right. I've finally started to watch my movie and holiday TV shows. I don't know what was preventing me from getting in the mood. Maybe it lives in another room in the house. But anyway, finally got through that, and I have caught up on the Walton's Christmas movie, which is called The Homecoming. And I always make fun of Patricia Neal because her performance is so over the top. But honestly, it's not that it's over the top. It's just it's very stage. You know how some people are kind of very stage actor, and then when you get into more subtle kind of in front of the camera, you kind of tone it down just a little bit, and she doesn't. I think the aliens are coming from Tom. I'm not sure.
You heard that noise?
No, I didn't hear the noise, but I saw you looking around.
Yeah, something weird.
All right. Anyway, so I don't. So as much as she is very over the top and out of place in some of the scenes, I think a lot of it is just that she's very stage acting, and so that's all it is. All right. I also watched the Give Me a Break Christmas ones, Home Improvement Christmas ones. I watched The Flying Nun, WKRP in Cincinnati, Mr. Bean, Dinner Ladies, Fresh Fields, and of course, the amazing film that I love to watch every year, and I cry through the whole fucking thing, Love Actually. And this year was no different.
I'm still upset that Snape would do that to our dear
Yeah.
teacher.
To dear what?
To the dear teacher.
Oh, yes.
She's so sensitive. I'll tell you, when he cheats on Emma Thompson, well, he doesn't even cheat on her.
Right.
But it's just when he's stupid. He's just so stupid, and it's Emma Thompson,
I know.
another that she's an actress, a wonderful British actress that I love, love,
Hmm.
love, and so don't be mean to her.
Yeah.
And she's so when she realizes with the Joni Mitchell thing
Hmm.
that he got that for somebody else, it rips my heart out.
Yep. And the way that she handles it, she goes in the other room and cries, and then she just gets on with it. And I'm not even gonna say I'm not even gonna say that is all uh British stiff upper lip. It feeds back into earlier, which I never caught this before until I was watching it this time, when she and Liam Neeson's character, who's Liam Neeson, they just come from his wife's funeral. Excuse me. And he breaks down in tears, and she pats him on the shoulder and says, "Come on now, nobody likes a sissy." And she's trying to tell him, not to cry, stiff upper lip, get on with it. And then when she has her breakdown moment, it was just such a like a, a, a I don't know the right word here. I do, but it's not coming to me. It was just such an amazing connection to from those two scenes, and then she had to take her own advice and just plow through with it because they had to go to the kids' play. And yeah, so it was just such a good movie. It's so well done. And yes, I did want to beat Snape for cheating on her. She was one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah,
Actually, yeah,
because she's wonderful.
yeah. And
You
I
know,
just love her. In fact, I would have to say that after some of her recent projects that she has done, and that I've really realized that she's done, she has definitely moved up to like probably my top three actresses. I love
just look at Sense and Sensibility
it.
and Late Night,
Yes,
and
yeah.
then you like those weird character.
Well, when she did Nanny McPhee and all that stuff,
Yeah,
I mean, she wrote them, and she's just incredible.
yeah, she really is.
And then the only other thing for me is that I've got my results back from 23andMe. And so everybody keeps going on about, and I'm not talking about everybody like once I tell them this, although they have, but there's some reports and stuff out like that. You have to be kind of careful with those things because they're not always like they're supposed to be more for entertainment value type thing and take them for what they are. But it basically said that I am a 90% or 97% white guy. Yes, it has been discovered. Sorry, pulling up something here. Yes, my reports. So basically, yep, I'm a big old white guy. If
Yeah, but the one thing
I,
you
yeah,
don't know about because you didn't research it well is that that part in northern Africa.
hmm
Okay, that is that's from the original people who left Africa because they
hmm
say that Africa is where man started
right,
in the first place. So that was the people that had ventured out of Africa and ended up in places like Asia and in Europe,
hmm
and they branched out, and then from Asia they came over to the United States and down through, well, not let's say North and South America.
right.
So and a lot of people don't have that blood in them, so you do have that. So
Well,
you were
yeah,
part, and you were also a Neanderthal. So
yes, actually, I had 75% more Neanderthal variant than most people. However, one thing to add to that, not saying that you aren't correct on that, because that's true. However, the part that was showing me that I also have Nigerian, West African, the Liberian from Ghana or Ghana, however you want to say it, and Egyptian actually in there somewhere. When you look up the blah blah blah, it's only about 4 or 5 generations ago. So I think this is kind of leading me down a path that I'm gonna get my parents both tested, because I think I have a theory that my father's father was not his real father. And I have a feeling that that bloodline back goes into to well, basically a black family. So
Okay.
I am just interested to see where it all goes. I'm taking it all with a grain of salt because, you know, they always say some of this isn't completely always accurate. But yeah, if this is accurate to me, this would have been like my great great grandfather type. So, or mother. Okay, with that said, so I am a rainbow. I am a rainbow of all things.
No, you're 97% white. That's what
Which
you are.
explains why I love bland food and the Queen.
That's it.
80% British and Irish. Yep.
Yeah, mine was
I couldn't believe I had 12% French.
mine was it was like 45% or 47% British and Irish, Scottish, and then most of the rest of it was German,
All of that, yeah.
and then I had just a little bit in Africa. So yeah, no Asian, no American Indian.
You see, I had a little bit of Asian, but it was like through like Egyptian type Asian, not like, you know.
What is Egyptian type Asian? Oh my God, seriously?
Okay, first off,
They're
stop
on two
picking on
different
me, bitch.
continents.
Second off, that came out wrong. I did not mean Egyptian Asian. I meant like Indian Asian type. So not like, you know, Chinese type Asian, but like the other part of the Asian continents.
Ugh.
Actually, you
You're
know,
just edging on racist. But go ahead.
no, this is me. I can't be racist against myself.
Okay.
But, you know, if we want to talk racism, German boy, I'm just going to say, I understand why you're so mean now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so.
Right.
I'm lucky. Just Sean is so lucky that he has somebody that is so open-minded and into.
Oh no, that's okay. Sean's pretty much German, English. We're very close to the same. Yeah, his mother when she did it, she was I think 99.9% white. I and we're like going, well, where's that other percentage? And I don't know, but yeah, and we're like, we laughed at it because she's Republican. Okay, I said it.
Well,
Yeah,
there.
I know.
No, we don't need to talk about that. Hey, did you see that sign? That person who put up the sign that said, "No Democrats allowed."
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and it was to a shop that, like, I don't think anybody wants to go there. No. So anyway, with all that, we thank you for joining us, and we want to tell you, in case you didn't know, in case you didn't make it here, how to find us. So you can send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com, leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Please consider becoming a patron of the show at patreon.com/mattburlingame. Find Tom's TV and movie reviews over at swannerandjudd.com for the podcast, the written word. Find them in iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, or in print at the Anchorage Press. Also, you can find out more about my books at justkisstheguy.com and check out my other podcast, which just had a new episode released at biggaysekshow.com. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
And we have not had a call for a while, so jump on that, people. We want to hear from you. We want your Christmas wishes, and we want to send you Christmas wishes.
Oh my God, listen to you. You're terrible.
Oh, have you gotten a lot of cards this year?
No, but I have a friend who likes to throw out how many cards he gets all the time and make everyone feel bad because they don't get cards.
7. I've gotten 7 cards this year.
Well, that's
Not that
weird.
it's account
Like,
two, but
yeah,
I
like
think
a whole
everybody
lot
is
more.
just really burned out this year, and
Oh,
people are just looking forward to the year being over.
I'm tired of giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Whatever.
I don't. Where's the love?
It's in a box from Moose P. All right, we love you, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.